The clock is ticking for the Duval County School Board. They must submit a reopening plan to the state's Department of Education by the end of the month. However, some board members say they want more time to look at the overall plans, as some teachers say they are fearful to return to class. 2 days after Superintendent Dr. Diana Green provided the school board with the district's latest reopening plan, the board voted to hit the pause button, with some suggesting it may be better to delay the start date by 2 weeks.
Parents are scrambling, teachers are scrambling, I would imagine administrators are scrambling.
Board members are concerned about the increase in COVID-19 cases and say delaying the start of the school year would give teachers more training time.
I would support a delay with a purpose, and to include a professional development, because I think that it's very clear that online learning is not going to go away.
There was also a discussion about starting the year virtually for every student, but Dr. Green said the logistics of getting computers and other technology to everyone would be challenging. Right now, there are different reopening plans for elementary, middle, and high school students that include online learning and face-to-face instruction. But some teachers are leery about starting the year in the classroom.
I know that our students need us, but I know that it is not safe, and I cannot, in good conscience, stand in front of my students and be able to tell them that I can assure their safety.
These issues will be taken up again next Thursday. Dr. Green says if the board does vote to delay the start of the school year, she will have to revise her reopening plans again. At DCPS, Robert Bradfield, First Coast News on your side.